Problem where we are being asked to graph the solution to the following system of inequalities, and this is in the program ALEX, and so I'm going to show you how to do it using ALEX. Okay. First, we need to make sure that we understand what we're looking at, and so let's go ahead. I have a sketch pad open here on the side so that I can write because I can't write directly on the ALEX screen, unfortunately. So when we're looking at the first one, we have this. And the second is this. All right, and let's make sure we understand what's going on here. So this here is a greater than sign. Notice it is not equal to. Because it is not equal to, we are going to have a dashed line. And because it is greater than, we are going to shade above the line. This one down here is a less than or equal to. Because it has an equal to, it is a solid line. And because it's less than, we are going to shade below it. Okay? Now let's see how this all works out. Let's start with the first inequality. And so the first inequality, all right, the y-intercept is -7. So let's go over to ALEX. Let's take this pencil and let's put a point at -7. All right, so I hope you can see it, but there's a little X, a little tick mark right there at -7. Okay, and now let's look at the slope. The slope is -2. So we would say -2 over 1. So that means from going back to the ALEX screen, starting at the y-intercept, I would go down 2 spaces and right 1 space and put another point. And I could do a bunch of those. All right, I could reverse it. In the ALEX program, you really only need 2 points. You don't have to do a whole bunch. So for the next one, I'll just show you with 2 points. But for this one, I'll go ahead and fill it out. But just so you know, in ALEX, you don't have to do all of those. You only need 2 points to draw a line. So to draw the line, I use this right here. And I pick any of these 2 points. I'll just pick my y-intercept and then the first one that I drew. All right, and there it is. There's my line. Now, there's a problem. This line is solid and we want a dashed line. So I use this thing right here and then I touch the line and it becomes dashed. All right, and so now we're going to be shading in a little bit, but not yet. Okay, let's make sure we draw the other line first. So let's look at this second equation. The second equation has a y-intercept of -4. So go back to ALEX, -4, put a point right there. The slope of this line is 3 over 1. So coming back to ALEX, I go to my y-intercept and I would go up 3 spaces and to the right 1 space, and I would put a point. All right. And to show you that I only need 2 points to draw this line in ALEX, I'm going to come over here. I'm going to grab the line. I'm going to touch the y-intercept, and then I'm going to touch the next point, and there it is. Now this one's solid, just like we want. So now it's time to shade. Now when we shade, we use this feature right here, and we can shade a bunch of places, okay? But we don't want to shade everywhere. That wouldn't make any sense. So let's shade only according to what we need. So let's go back to our first line, which was the dashed line, and we need to shade above this line. So above it would be 2 options, okay? It's either going to be this section or this section because both of those are above the dashed line, okay? But we need to make sure that we're also obeying the second inequality. And the second inequality is a less than, and so we need to be less than the solid line. And so less than the solid line would be underneath it. And so we'd be looking at this area here. So we want to make sure that the only area that's shaded is this area here because it is less than the solid line and it is greater than the dashed line. And so this should be the answer. And so when I press check, let's see what happens. I got it correct. All right, if you want to see another example, just watch the next video.